The Louds were in Vanzilla, driving down the streets of Royal Woods. They were on their way to a farmhouse that Lynn Sr. bought, with the money that they had won from the lottery he won a few days ago. "Are we there yet?" Lana asked. "Your turn, Lynn," Rita said to her husband, to answer Lana's question. "Not yet, Lana, but we'll get there," Lynn Sr. answered. "So, what's the whole point of going to this stupid farmhouse?" Lola scoffed at a question. "Well, Lola, I won the lottery, and I got to buy the farmhouse. We'll be spending 2 weeks there. It'll be fun," Lynn Sr. said. The other Loud siblings were minding their own business, and being silly as they usually are, within a few more minutes, the Louds reached to a huge farmhouse with a barn. Lynn Sr. pulled up the Vanzilla in the driveway to the farmhouse and parked when they got to the garage. Then everyone got out of Vanzilla and brought their bags inside. Once their unloading was finished, the Louds even got to look around the farmhouse. It was really huge with a lot of bedrooms. Even Lincoln had his own bedroom, while his sisters had to share a room. "This house is like ours," Luna said. "And there's 3 bathrooms. One in the basement, one up where the bedrooms are, and one near the front hallway," Lisa added. "That's a relief," Luann said as she laughed at her pun. "Why don't we explore the barn not far from here? Dad says there's lots of animals inside," Lenny suggested. Lincoln and his sisters ran out of the house and headed down towards the barn next to the house. Upon entering the barn, they could see hay with straw inside, with hay bales and tools. "There's animals here," Lana said, seeing the animals in their pens. It was a very large barn, so that meant there were a lot of animals inside. "There's cows and sheep, and in these pens with pigs," Lincoln said. "Guys, look at the stables. Dad says there's a couple horses inside," Lori said, as everyone looked at the animals before heading off to where the horses were at. "What is that horse called?" Lola asked, seeing a Welsh pony in the stall. "It's a Welsh pony, Lola. There's 3 in there, for Lisa, Lana, and you," Lynn Jr. said. "That horse is big in this stall," Lucy stated, as she headed over to another stall with a huge horse. "That horse is called a Belgian draft," Luna said. "It's in this book I got from the bookstore last week. It's about the different breeds of horses." "There's a Clydesdale in this stall beside it," Luann said. "Yeah, I wonder if it's Clyde McBride," Mr. Coconuts chirped. Then Luann laughed at her dummy's pun. "It's not him, Mr. Coconuts, but you are close," Luann chuckled. "You guys, there's a horse in here, and it's bigger on the sides than a normal horse would be," Lenny said over a few stalls from them. The rest of the Louds head over to Lenny's direction. They all looked over for the stall window, and then there was a horse eating hay, and her sides were more round. "That's a female horse, Lenny," Lisa said, seeing the sides of the mare's barrel. "It appears to be a mare, which is another word for female horse, and judging by the sides being bigger around the stomach, I can see that she's expecting a foal." "You mean she's pregnant?" Lola asked. "Yep, and she's gonna have a baby," Lisa replied. "She looks even bigger than any other horse. She eats like one. Ha ha ha!" Luann cackled at her pun. "Dad did say one of the horses is having a baby, so this must be the one he's talking about," Lori said. "So, gang, how do you like the farm so far?" Lynn Sr. asked as he and Rita headed inside the barn. "It's great, Dad. The animals here are amazing," Lana replied. "Dad, is this horse in the stall that is pregnant?" Lori asked Lynn Sr. "That is correct, Lori. Her name is Elsa. She's a rescue horse. After her foal is born, we'll train her to do into riding lessons," Lynn Sr. said. "She's a quarter horse, and she's due any time now." "Can we stay at the farmhouse until the foal is born?" Lynn Jr. asked. "Please, Daddy, pretty please," Lola added. Soon everyone was overjoyed at the fact that a new foal was going to be born in the Loud family farm. As soon as Lynn Sr. heard enough pleases from her children, he and Rita finally gave in. "Of course we can, kids. We'll also have neighbors who will help us with the farm animals," Rita said. "The vet will be here to check on Elsa with her unborn foal as she's approaching her due date," Lynn Sr. said. "Say, kids, would any of you guys like to take a riding lesson?" Just as Lynn Sr. said that, a woman in her late 20s showed up. She was the coach of the farmhouse that the Louds had bought. "Hi, I'm Martha Evans, and you must be the Louds," Martha said. "That's right, we are," Lori replied. "Horsey baby?" Lily asked Rita, pointing at Elsa. "Yes, Lily, the horse is having a baby, like I had all of you guys," Rita replied. "Let me assign you all to your horses and we'll figure out your riding levels and get to it," Martha said. As Martha took care of Lynn Sr. and Rita's children, Lily was with the parents near where the sheep and pigs were, rolling and working around the farm. "Martha is such an awesome worker, Lynn. I'm glad we won the lottery," Rita said, as she and Lynn Sr. started to feed the sheep and the pigs. "Yep, and this farm life is fantastic," Lynn Sr. replied. "Which reminds me, I have to call the vet to check on Elsa." Lynn Sr. got on his cell phone and started to call the vet. Meanwhile, in the indoor arena, Martha was coaching Lisa, Lola, Lana, Lynn Jr., Lucy, and Lincoln on their horses. Luann, Lenny, Lori, and Luna were sweeping the stables. As they were doing their jobs, Lori looked to hear shuffling coming from the storage room. She stopped and wondered who was inside the storage room. Lenny, along with Luna and Luann, soon took notice of Lori. Confused as they were, they all stared at the storage room for a few seconds. Then someone walked out of the storage room. It was Bobby. "Boo Boo Bear, how did you get in here?" Lori asked in surprise. "Hey babe, I got here with permission from your parents. They said that I can surprise you, so I did," Bobby replied as he walked out of the storage room. "Ronnie Ann was gonna come and join me, but she had some stuff going back in the city." "It's all good, Bobby, so how's it going?" Lori asked. "Nothing much. I was just about to feed the horses dinner. Want to help me?" Bobby replied with a question. "Sounds like a plan. We've just finished sweeping the stables," Lori said. Then she, with Lenny, Luna, and Luann, began to help Bobby feed the horses in the stable. When Luna approached Elsa in her stall, she looked at how huge Elsa's tummy was getting, so she approached the mare slowly, then placed her hand on the mare's stomach. "Dudes, you should come here," Luna called quietly. Without startling the horse, Bobby, along with Lori, Lenny, and Luann, showed up, confused and wondered if Luna was okay. "Is everything okay?" Luann asked. "You should all feel this. I think the foal just moved," Luna said. Her sisters and Bobby took turns feeling Elsa's stomach. Sure enough, they all felt movement inside. "We all felt our siblings move when Mom was pregnant, so this is no different," Lori said. "Except this one's a horse, of course," Luann said as she cackled at her pun, not laughing too loud to scare the horse. "Keep the voices down," Lori reminded Luann. "She sure looks like the baby can come any day now," Luna said. Then Lori looked at the time on her phone. "You guys, it's almost time for a ride lesson. We all gotta give Elsa space and get our horses we've been assigned to be ready to ride," Lori said to her sisters. "Okay, come on, dudes," Luna said. As everyone walked out of the stall, Luann turned to look at Elsa just before leaving the stall. "We're excited to meet your new foal soon," Luann said to Elsa before leaving her stall. When dinner was served at 6 p.m., the Louds were at the dinner table, eating spaghetti with garlic bread and more. "So, what did you all think of the farm I bought?" Lynn Sr. asked. "It's so far amazing, Dad. Thanks to Lori for picking the lucky numbers," Lincoln said. "It was very surprising that we won, but it was literally worth it," Lori replied. "Who's keeping an eye on Elsa?" Lynn Jr. asked. "Martha is. She ate dinner already and is keeping an eye on her. She does know that we want to see the foal being born, so she'll let us know when Elsa's having the foal," Rita answered. "We should all come up with names for the foal, and we'll write them down and decide from there," Lana suggested. "That's a great idea, dudes. We'll pick names for boys and girls," Luna added. "Yeah, since we don't know what the gender of the foal will be, it could be a colt or a filly," Lori said. "After dinner, you kids and Bobby can decide on the names," Lynn Sr. piped in. Then the Louds and Bobby continued to eat their dinner. When nightfall came to the Loud family farm, Lana was watching Elsa with Luna. Luna was trying to come up with a song for the foal, but she was having a hard time trying to think of which one to do. "We have to head to bed soon, dude," Luna said to Lana. "I know, Luna, but I don't want to miss the foal being born," Lana said a bit impatient. According to my research on books on horses, it says that most foals are born in the late hours of the night and or sometimes in the very early hours of the morning, Luna replied. But Marfa says that she'll keep an eye on Elsa and will alert us as soon as possible. As Luna sat down beside Lana, the younger sister was wondering what Luna was doing. What are you doing with that guitar and paper? Lana asked. I'm trying to write a song for the foal, but I'm stumped on what I want the song to be and sound like, Luna replied, feeling stumped. Well, I'm sure you'll figure out something, Lana said. As they turned to see Marfa asleep on the couch near the stable, Luna walked out of the barn, and as Lana was the last one to leave, she forgot to lock Elsa's stall door, and not only that, but Lana also forgot to shut the barn door while walking out. So in the middle of the night, Elsa looked to see that her stall door was open, and so was the barn door. The mare walked out of her stall and headed towards the front door of the barn. Then she walked out away from the barn property. No one has even seen that the stall door or the barn doors weren't closed, and they didn't see that Elsa had gotten out. When it was 6 a.m. in the morning, Lori, Lenny, and Luna got up to check on Elsa. They wondered if the foal was born while they were sleeping, but when they peered inside Elsa's stall, the horse wasn't even there. Uh-oh, Elsa's gone, dudes, Luna said. What could have happened last night? Lenny asked. Someone must have forgot to shut her stall door, to which explains why the barn door was open when we got up, Lori replied. Lana was with me last night, and she was the last one out. Oh man, this is so bad. She must have forgotten to shut the stall and the barn door closed, Luna said. Hang on, Luna. We'll get the family here except for Mom and Dad, Lori suggested. Why not tell Mom and Dad? Lenny asked. They could also help us. I don't want them to worry. Maybe we can all find Elsa ourselves, Lori said. A half an hour later, the rest of the Loudfoot siblings and Bobby were now inside the stable. So Elsa left the barn last night? Len Jr. asked. Yep, and it's my fault, Lana exclaimed a confession, which caught the siblings and Bobby's attention. What do you mean it's your fault? Lincoln asked. I forgot to shut Elsa's stall door last night, and I also forgot to shut the barn door closed last night as well, Lana said, on the verge of the breakdown. I'm sorry, okay? I'm sorry. Lana, we need to calm down here. A breakdown isn't going to help, Lynn said. Lynn's right. It's not your fault. We just gotta find out where Elsa went. Hopefully she hasn't gone too far, Lincoln said. I think we should look at this barn first. Maybe Elsa actually didn't leave the barn, Lisa suggested. Everyone looked and checked around the place inside the barn for Elsa, but after looking for some time, they still hadn't found her. Well, she's not in this barn anywhere, Bobby said. How about we look in the pastures, dudes? We haven't looked outside. Maybe she's in one of the pastures. It's worth a look, Luna suggested, when they headed out of the barn and headed towards the pastures. While they were down by the pastures, they couldn't find her anywhere on the property. She must have gone off our property. Maybe we should tell Mom, Dad, and Marfa and ask for help, Lincoln suggested, before being held back by Lori. Lincoln, we're going to find Elsa ourselves. Mom, Dad, and Marfa will worry if we tell them, so we gotta get Elsa back here on her own. Who knows where she could be, Lori stated. Your dad's got the trailer attached to the truck. I could drive that if you could drive Vanzilla, Bobby suggested. Everyone agreed to this plan. Bobby got in the truck attached to the trailer while Lori and their siblings got inside Vanzilla. Will our parents and Marfa worry about us? Lucy asked. Yes, but I'll leave him a text message, Lori replied, as she texted Marfa along with Rita Lynn Sr. about what was going on. As they headed out of the farm property, they headed down towards the country road with Bobby. While they drove for a good 5 minutes, everyone looked around to see if Elsa was in the fields of the countryside. I don't see Elsa anywhere. I hope she's okay, Luann said. She's gotta be out here somewhere, Lenny added. Siblings, I think I found a way to help us find Elsa, Lisa announced. Then she held up an invention. This is a horse tracker device. It will help us find Elsa. I put a DNA sample of hers in this device the other day, and it will start making beeping sounds when she's nearby. I tested it out on a horse last night, and it worked perfectly. This device will certainly help us, Lori said. Lisa, you're a genius. Hey, there's a horse farm up ahead. Maybe she's in there. Lola pointed at the huge, luxurious farm. I guess we could see if she's in there, but I don't know if they have her, Lincoln said. Bobby parked on the side of the road along with Lori, and they all approached the large, luxurious farm. Hey there, fam. What's up? A farmer said. Hello, we are so sorry to barge in this farm like this at this time, but we have an emergency, Lynn Jr. replied. Have you seen a bay quarter-horse mare? She's pregnant and looks like this, Lori asked as she showed the farmer woman a picture of Elsa on her phone. We do have horses, but I don't think we have a pregnant one, but feel free to look around, the farm woman said. Then the Louds and Bobby looked around the farm in hopes of finding Elsa. As they were looking around, Lori saw Lana in the mud puddle. Lana, we can't get too dirty right now. We have to stay on task, Lori scolded as she pulled Lana away from the mud puddle. Aw, come on, I like that stuff, Lana whined. Inside the barn, Bobby and the rest of the Louds were looking around. Lynn Jr. was talking to a Shetland pony just to keep him company when Lincoln saw her. Lynn, what are you doing? That's not Elsa, Lincoln pointed out. I know, Lincoln. I was just hanging around this little guy, Lynn Jr. said before she walked out of the stall to search in the luxury farm. Within 15 minutes, the Louds and Bobby had no luck on finding Elsa. Still haven't found her, Luna said in disappointment. Well, she's not here, so we have to keep looking, Lisa added. Before the Louds and Bobby headed back towards their vehicles, they headed down the road towards a town not far from Royal Woods. The town that they were in was apparently named Meadow Lane Creek. The Louds and Bobby parked near a restaurant called Tony's Bar and Grill, where they all headed inside to search for Elsa. I don't think we're going to find a horse in here, Lucy said. We're here for lunch, Lucy. I'm starving, Lori stated. I guess a lunch break wouldn't hurt. Then the search is on again, Luann said. Meanwhile, at the farmhouse, Lynn Sr. was with Rita, Martha, and Lily in the barn. They had been alerted that Elsa went missing, and they got Lori's text message regarding where they were. I'm worried about Elsa right now. What if something happened to her? Lynn Sr. said dramatically. Now, Lynn, I'm sure Elsa's fine. I just hope the kids find her, Rita reassured her husband. I'll contact everyone you know about Elsa. Then I'll search around the farmlands, Martha said. Thank you so much, Martha. You're a lifesaver, Lynn Sr. said. Since Elsa could have the foal any day now, Lynn, why not you get her stall ready with straw as bedding, Rita said. Sounds like a plan. The vet said to do that when she talked to me yesterday, Lynn Sr. replied. Back at Meadow Lane Creek, the Louds and Bobby had finished eating their lunch and headed back towards their vehicles. They drove nearby a country road where they pulled into the side of the road before jumping out. Once they were out of their vehicles near the left side, Lisa found some hoof prints in the dirt. I think we found the horse we're looking for, Lisa said as she grabbed her horse tracking device and examined the hoof print. What does it say, dude? Luna asked. It says that it's from a mare, so it must be Elsa's, Lisa said. Let's follow the hoof prints. Lisa, Elsa's gonna be close, Lori pointed out. Then she and Bobby led the rest of the Louds down the path. After a few minutes of following the hoof prints, they went to near a ditch of mud. There are hoof prints leading into this mud right here, dudes, Luna pointed out. Prepare to be in a muddy situation. Get it? Ha ha ha! Luann laughed. We're going in, but let's not get stuck, Lori advised, as everyone went through the muddy path. While walking in the mud, Lana could hear a noise in the distance. It sounded like a circus music. I hear something, you guys, Lana said. What is it, Lana? Is it Elsa? Lola asked. No, it sounds like music. Circus music, Lana replied, as she and the rest of her sisters walked towards the bushes, with Bobby following them. They slowly walked out of the bushes and saw a circus going on in the fields. A circus? Man, that is so swell, Luann said, with her pun with a giggle. Elsa might be in the circus. Come on, gang, let's move, Lori instructed, as she, Bobby, and her siblings followed her out of the forest through the muddy path. That circus might have found Elsa, so let's head in there and look for her, Bobby said. Good plan, Boo Boo Bear. and maybe we'll ask the people in there if they've seen her," Lori added, as they headed towards the circus grounds. At the circus, there were tons of people working and even visiting the circus. The Louds and Bobby entered the circus and they looked around. "I can't see Elsa anywhere, yet the horse tracking device says that Elsa's been here," Lisa said. "She could be anywhere in the circus. Why don't we all split up and search for her?" Lincoln suggested. "I wasn't going to suggest the idea, but it's fine," Lori said. Then she got everyone's attention. "Now everyone, let's split up and try to find Elsa. Then we'll all meet back here at the clown statue at 3 o'clock. "All right, let's go," Bobby said, as he and all the Louds split up in several directions. As Lincoln looked at the cages of animals, there were lions, tigers, and bears. Oh my! But he had no luck finding Elsa. However, a fat guy wearing a yellow hat with a W on the front, purple pants, and a yellow shirt watched Lincoln from a nearby circus tent. It was that treasure-hoarding prankster named Wario. "Hey, I recognize that white-haired kid. It's Lincoln Loud. I pranked his older sister and her boyfriend a while ago, so maybe I'll pull a few pranks on him too," Wario smirked, then walked over to a barrel of beer and filled a balloon with it. As Lincoln headed down towards the tent, Wario had hid behind a crate with a beer balloon and waited for him to get close. Once Lincoln was in range, Wario tossed the beer balloon at him, to which it struck Lincoln right in the face as it exploded, getting him wet. "Ah! My eyes!" Lincoln yelled as he was doused in beer. "Ha ha ha! Wario got you good!" Wario cackled, then ran off laughing. Lincoln quickly rushed over to a water faucet near the side of the tent and washed the beer off of his face. Once he dried himself off with a towel, he saw Wario heading towards another tent in the distance. Upon seeing him, Lincoln grew pissed. He headed for the tent. He saw Lenny do it in a fashion show in a clown costume at a carnival stand. "Lenny, what are you doing?" Lincoln asked. "Oh, I'm just doing a fashion show in a clown costume," Lenny replied. "Did you find Elsa?" "No, but that fat prankster named Wario was just here. He threw a beer balloon at my face," Lincoln replied. "We gotta stop him before he tries pranking everyone else in this circus." Just as Lincoln said that, Lori and Bobby both walked in the tent that Lenny and Lincoln were both in. "Did you say Wario pranked you?" Lori asked, visibly pissed. "He pranked me and Bobby a while ago. He shot me and Bobby with a paintball gun." "Aw, man, did he really do that?" Lincoln asked. "Yeah, and one of them hit my nuts," Bobby replied. "We gotta stop him, or he'll prank everyone." "Well then, let's round everyone up and try to catch Wario," Lori instructed, as Lincoln and Lenny went in one direction, while Lori and Bobby went the other way. Lola was doing pageants when Lori and Bobby found her along with Lynn Jr. and Lana. Lenny and Lincoln had found Lucy and Lisa in one of the tents petting the animals. And soon they had to find Luna and Luann. "Where can Luna and Luann be?" Lucy asked. What's that purple thing?" Lenny asked, seeing a purple dinosaur walking inside the tent. They heard Luna's voice coming from the tent and where the purple dinosaur walked in, so they headed off in that direction. As they were on their way, Lincoln texted Lori on where to meet them at the others at. When Lincoln, Lenny, Lucy, Lisa walked inside the tent, they found Luna on their guitar playing the music while the purple dinosaur was singing. "Is it just me, or does that purple dinosaur remind you of anyone?" Lisa asked. "It looks like Barney the dinosaur, but why is he here?" Lucy asked. "I'm not sure," Lincoln replied. "So you guys, what do you call a purple dinosaur?" "Barney the dinosaur," Luann cackled at her joke. Lincoln then realized that Luann was dressed up in the Barney costume just to entertain the kids. "Luann, is that you?" Lincoln asked, as Luann took off the headpiece of the Barney costume. "Yeah, it's me in the Barney costume. I wanted to wear it for entertainment," Luann replied, as she turned around to look behind her. When she did that, the dinosaur tail hit Wario, who had a stink bomb with him. Upon realizing that he was trying to prank her, Luann shook her head. Hey, Louds," Wario said nervously. "You searching for Patrick Star?" "No, dude, you pranked some of my siblings," Luna said sternly. "I just told Mario about what you did, so you're going to be going back to the Mushroom Kingdom." With that said, Lenny and Lincoln grabbed Wario and threw him into a trunk, to which Luann shut it and locked it tight. Don't even bother trying to get out of there, Wario, because Mario will be here to deal with you soon, Luann cackled. Then Lori and Bobby with the rest of the Loud siblings showed up. There you all are, Lori said. What happened while we were out? That fat treasure-hoarding prankster named Wario who pranked some of us, but thankfully we stopped him, Lisa explained. Luna texted Mario about it, so he'll be here in a bit to take Wario back to the Mushroom Kingdom. Luann, why are you dressed up as Barney the dinosaur? Lori asked Luann. I found it in the costume box, so I decided to entertain the kids as Barney, Luann replied. Plus, I made a decent amount of money from it. Well, there's no time to be dressed up as Barney the dinosaur, Luann. We gotta find Elsa, Lori said. Then Luann got out of the Barney costume. Soon the Louds were out of the tent, still searching for Elsa. Any advice on how we could find her? Lola asked. Yeah, there has to be a way we haven't tried yet, Lana added. Perhaps you should try looking up from somewhere high with a telescope, Lisa suggested. Lynn climbed up to a tree and got her telescope out to look through it. As she was looking around, she found a pregnant horse in the field, and it was none other than Elsa in the field walking around. You guys, I saw Elsa in the fields. She's just north of us. We gotta get to her, Lynn said. Well, then we better catch her before she runs off, Lori said. I'll head back to the truck with the trailer, and I'll meet you at the field, Bobby said. Be careful, babe. I will, Boo-Boo Bear. See you at the field, Lori replied. As the Louds headed towards the field, while Bobby headed back the way they came to fetch the truck with trailer. As the Louds were running on the field, they saw Elsa about 6 feet away from them. Did she have the baby? Luann asked. It appears that she didn't have the foal yet, so she's still pregnant, Lisa replied. Now you guys, we have to use soft voices when we're around her. We don't want to scare her off, so let's be quiet, Lori said. She grabbed a halter and lead rope and walked towards Elsa. Lori eventually got the halter on Elsa and attached the lead rope to her halter. We finally found her and she seems to be okay, Lana said. She has no injuries from what I can see, Luna replied. Then a loud cat screech could be heard, startling the Louds. They turned to see a mountain lion approaching them from the left. Oh man, it's a mountain lion, and he looks mad, Luann said. We gotta take care of that big cat before it tries to eat Elsa and us, Lola stated. I'll distract the mountain lion. Lynn, you can hit it with her baseball bat, Lincoln said. Then he tossed a baseball bat to Lynn Jr. We better get Elsa away from that mountain lion. She can't fight when she's pregnant, Lynn advised as she and Lincoln distracted the mountain lion when her siblings walked Elsa in the opposite direction of danger. As Lincoln distracted the mountain lion, Lynn Jr. snuck up from behind the creature with the bat in hand. Just as Lincoln was at the edge of the cliff, he ended up being cornered by the mountain lion. But Lynn Jr. saved them just in time by striking the big cat with the baseball bat so hard that it knocked him out. Thanks, Lynn. I thought that he had me, Lincoln said. No problem. That should knock the big cat out for a long time, Lynn Jr. replied. Now let's head back towards the vans, Lynn Jr. said, as she and Lincoln ran back the way they came. They soon headed to the country road where Vanzilla and the truck and trailer were. Elsa had been loaded inside the trailer, and the Louds were in Vanzilla. Lincoln and Lynn headed towards in that direction and caught up with her siblings and Bobby. There you guys are, you alright? Lori asked them. We're okay now. I knocked out the mountain lion, so he won't be moving around for a while, Lynn Jr. replied. He cornered me, but Lynn Jr. stopped him just in time, Lincoln added. Well, we're just glad that you're okay, Lori said. We should head back to the farm now. Elsa could have the baby any time now, Bobby said from his truck. Then we best get home, Lincoln said. Then the Louds and Bobby headed home from their very big and great adventure. Back at the Loud farm, it was around 4:30 p.m. Rita, Lily, and Lynn Sr. were pacing around the barn. They hadn't heard from their children in several hours, and they were worried. The McBrides haven't seen the kids or Elsa. I sure hope they're okay, Rita replied. Me too. I'm getting worried about them and Elsa, Lynn Sr. added. Martha said that she's called everyone in the countryside she knows and still no sign of them, Rita said. Then she heard Vanzilla and a truck with a trailer pulling up on the farm property. That's the kids and Bobby, Lynn Sr. said, as he, Lily, and Rita all turned to see Lori with their siblings and Bobby. They were safe and unharmed, and as they ran to hug them all, "Oh my God, we're so glad you're all home. We've been worried about you all," Rita said, with tears of joy. "We had to find Elsa, and we went through some adventure," Lynn Jr. said, as Bobby got Elsa out from the trailer. "We first then went to a farm that was a luxurious one, and we found for our first place to look," Lenny started. "Then we went to a restaurant and went to a circus and found Elsa in the meadow by herself," Lola added. "Wario tried to prank us, but we stopped him before he could. He did prank a few of us, but we managed to stop him," Luann said. "Then there was a mountain lion, and he was going to eat me, but Lynn saved me," Lincoln chirped. Soon the kids were all talking at once, and the parents couldn't understand the whole story. "Slow down, kids!" Lynn Sr. exclaimed, getting the kids to stop talking. "At dinner time, you can all tell me the story of what happened." "Okay, Dad, but we're okay now, dudes," Luna said. Then Martha showed up, surprised that the Louds and Bobby had returned home. "I'm so glad you're all okay. We were very worried when we haven't heard from you in a while," Martha said. "Elsa seems to be just fine. Let me get her in her stall." Martha then took Elsa and led the mare back into their stall in the barn. "Now we can see the foal being born," Lori said. "She got away from us for a while. It happened when Lana left the stall door open and the barn door open as well. But we found Elsa, and what matters is that she's safe." "You kids must be dirty. Well, look at the mud and stuff on ya," Rita said, seeing how dirty her children and Bobby were. "While we make dinner, you all three should have showers and baths, and at dinner time, you can all talk about your one adventure." "That will be a story, be a fairy tale to tell, ha ha ha," Luann laughed, as she, along with the rest of Rita and Lynn Sr.'s children, headed inside the farmhouse to take showers and baths. Before Lynn Sr. and Rita and Lily headed inside the farmhouse, they turned to see Martha near Elsa's stall. She turned to the parents' attention. "I'll keep an eye on Elsa. I'll let you all know when she's about to have her foal, so that way you and your children can see her foal being born," Martha said, as the parents with Lily headed inside the farmhouse. After the Louds and Bobby had their baths and showers, they were all cleaned and were eating dinner in the dining room. They had told their great adventure story in full detail to the parents and Lily. "That must have been some adventure you all had," Rita said. "Yeah, and it was sure something," Lenny replied. "This was the best adventure yet. I can't wait to tell my friends at school about this when we go back. We all should from our perspectives," Lincoln said. "That way our stories will be flawless and it will be a big hit." "I'm sure they'll enjoy those stories," Lynn Sr. replied. "Elsa did get away from us for a while, but at least she and the unborn foal are safe and sound," Lisa said. "I was wearing a Barney the dinosaur costume at the circus. Can I get a Barney costume of my own?" Luann asked. "I don't see why we can't, Luanna Banana. When we go to the circus tomorrow, I'll buy you a Barney costume for ya," Lynn Sr. replied. "Thanks, Dad. That's super-duper! Ha ha ha!" Luann laughed. "Will Elsa's foal be born in the night or in the early hours of the morning?" Lana asked. "Well, we're not sure. It's hard to say, but Martha will keep an eye on her and will page us in," Rita said. Then her phone dinged and it was Martha. "Kids, Elsa's about to have her foal. Let's go." As Rita said that, the Louds and Bobby got very excited. Lynn Sr. quieted everyone down as the kids and Bobby took their attention towards Lynn Sr. "Before we head down to the stable, we have to keep our voices down and low when we're in the stable. Elsa does not need to be stressed out while giving birth, so we can watch as long as we're quiet," Lynn Sr. reminded them. "That sounds great, dude. And can we all go to the circus tomorrow as a family?" Luna asked. "We can all go to the circus as a family, please?" Lola asked as well. "Of course we can. We can all go to the circus as a family tomorrow, since while looking for Elsa, you didn't really get much time to have fun there," Rita replied. Then the Louds and Bobby headed down towards the barn, and they all headed towards Elsa's stall. "There she is," Martha whispered, as the Louds watched Elsa in her stall. She was in labor for a bit, but still nothing had happened. "Nothing's happening yet. What's taking the foal so long?" Lana asked. "It usually takes about 12 to 18 minutes for a foal to be born, but since this is Elsa's first foal, it may take about up to an hour," Lisa explained. What if something goes wrong? Lenny asked. Elsa may need help if we don't see the foal within a half an hour. We will have the vet's number and know what to do. Rita reassured Lenny. What's that coming out of a mare's well? You know, Lola asked in disgust. I think those are the front hooves, dude, Luna replied. And Lola, giving birth isn't really disgusting. It's life. Plus, this is what labor's like. Don't see me in that much pain anytime soon, dude. Baby, Lily said. Yes, Lily. Elsa's having her baby, Rita replied. I'm sure she'll be fine, and if she needs help, we're here, Marfa said, as the Louds watched as Elsa was having her foal in her stall. I see a nose coming out too, Luann said. Yeah, so the foal's in the right position to come out, Lynn Jr. added. Were you in that much pain having us kids? Lincoln asked Rita. Yes, I was, Lincoln, but it was all worth it at the end when you were all born as babies, Rita replied, as the foal's head was out. Yikes, I'm glad not to be having kids right now, Lori stated. I'm still young to have kids. I agree, babe, but someday you'll be a mother of our kids, Bobby replied. The foal's almost out, Lynn Sr. said. As the foal was finally born, it started to move as Elsa turned her head to see her baby. The baby's here, Luna said. Isn't the foal just a cutie? What is it? Lola asked, as Marfa took a towel and cleaned the foal up a bit, and as the foal was a rowan color, and the Louds all had cute eyes over the newborn foal. Is it a boy or a girl? Lana asked as well. Marfa checked the gender of the foal while she was cleaning it. It's a filly, Marfa replied. So it's a girl? Lana asked again. It's a girl, dude, Luna answered. She is the most beautiful foal we've ever seen, Lori said, crying nearly tears of joy. I cried when you were all born, including you, Lori, Rita said. She's going to be a big horse someday, just like its mama, Bobby stated, as Elsa got up and turned around to lick her foal. This special moment, Lori took out her phone, which she recorded the horse's birth with, and took a photo of the newborn foal. You recorded the birth? Luann asked. Yeah, I'll post it when we get back to the house. This moment will be cherished by us all, Lori replied. The foal was then beginning to try and stand up, and as the filly made her first attempt, she fell down. The Louds all watched with Marfa as the filly tried to stand up again, but the filly stumbled on her legs. Keep trying, little one. You can do it, Lynn Jr. encouraged. As the foal tried to stand up for the third time, she finally stood up for the first time, although she did wobble a bit, but the Louds were just glad that the foal looked healthy. What's her name going to be? Lincoln asked. Can we go with a name that was good? Lucy suggested. Well, kids, since you all found Elsa and brought her home, why don't you all name the foal, and we'll be fine with whatever name you decide, Lynn Sr. suggested. How does everyone feel about naming the foal Epona? Lincoln suggested, like from Legend of Zelda. I like that name a lot, Lenny said. We all like it too, Lana added. What a great name, Lincoln. Epona it is, Lori said. How long can we keep Elsa and Epona? We'll keep them for as long as you all want, Rita replied. Then Epona began to nurse from Elsa. She's nursing from Mom, and it looks like she found out where the milk comes from, Luann said. Just use your imagination on where milk comes from in horses. I already knew the answer, but you do have a point, Lisa stated. It seems like Mom and Baby are going to be just fine, Marfa said. Since it's almost bedtime, why not we put the other horses to bed and leave Elsa with the baby alone together to bond? We'll check on them in the morning. Sounds great. Mom and Dad Baby are doing well, Bobby said, as Lori hugged him. Come on, Boo Boo Bear, let's get going, Lori said. The Louds and Bobby put the rest of the horses to bed before heading out of the barn, and this time, Lori made sure that all the stall doors were shut, as well as the barn door. The next day, however, the Louds and Bobby were getting ready to go to the circus as a family at Meadow Lane Creek. As they were in Vanzilla, they drove down the road where they stopped at a nearby pasture. Inside the pasture, they saw Elsa Vipona. The foal was playful and was running around like crazy. The Louds and Bobby waved goodbye to the horses before they drove off to the circus. At the circus, the Louds and Bobby were having a fun time, eating treats, seeing animals, watching acts, and Luann even got herself a Barney the Dinosaur costume. As her act was going on as Barney, she looked at the audience. That was super-de-duper, or should I say, stupendous! Ha ha ha! Luann cackled as Barney the dinosaur, and the Louds will have to admit that this adventure was the best one that they've ever had this summer.